Hello everyone, in today's video we will be solving your exercises from last week. We will begin with this exercise right here. So let's get started immediately. Problem number 1 gives us the perimeter of an equilateral triangle, meaning that we know that all of its sides need to be equal, they need to be the same. The perimeter is 48 centimeters, and then it asks how many centimeters one side is. Okay, well, here's the thing, all the sides are the same, so I don't know how much they are. So I'm going to call them x because they are an unknown, right? Let's make that a little bigger. There we go. But if this side is x, then this side also needs to be x, and this side also needs to be x because, again, they are all equal. Okay, that means that to find the perimeter, I would have needed to do x plus x plus x. So x plus x plus x gives me 48. Well, how much is x plus x plus x? That would be 3x, because 3 x's, right? And this gives me 48. Now, if 3x gives me 48, that means that x must be, if I divide both sides by 3, uh, here the 3 is going to be deleted, and here I'm going to do 48 divided by 3. I'm going to get 16. So x needs to be 16 centimeters. Let's see. Here we have a trapezoid. The two bases are 9 meters and 10.5 meters. And this is the distance between them, so the height is 5 meters. And we want the area. So let's find the area. The area is going to be 9 plus 10.5. Okay, let's actually write it. Nine plus 10.5, and then we need to multiply that by the height, which in this case is 5, and then whatever we find we need to divide it by 2. So let's see what this equals. First we need to do 9 plus 10.5, and this gives me 19.5 times 5 divided by 2. 19.5 times 5 is going to give us how much? Let's think about this. Okay, well, let's be sure. 5, and then a decimal point, and then a 7, and then a 9. 97.5. And we need to divide this by 2 still. So this here gave me 97.5. When I did it, I did this multiplication, and it gave me 97.5. And now we need to do 97.5 divided by 2. And this is equal to... let's think. Half of 97 is how much? That would be 46.5. Then we also need to have, sorry, not 46.5. $48.5. Yeah. Then we also have the half 5 of 0.5, which is 0.25. So this is gonna need to be 48.75. We could have done this division vertically if we wanted to, and that might actually have been a bit easier. I'm more sure. But if you do this division vertically, what you will find is 48.75. Yeah. Here we have a circle. It has a diameter of 42, meaning its radius is the half of that, so 21. And we need to find its area. If you remember, we talked about this before Easter, about how to find the area of a circle. To find the area, we take pi, so 3.14. We multiply that by the radius, which in this case is 21, and whatever we find, we multiply that by the radius again, so 21 again. Now, we're going to need to do this vertically, actually, but just to save you some time, I'm going to do it on a piece of paper here. So 21 times 21 will give us 441. And then we're going to need to multiply 3.14 by that. And that multiplication will give us 1,384.74. So there you go. And you could have done this multiplication, these multiplications actually. You could have done them vertically. Next up, we have a triangle and we are being told that its base, so this side right here, is 124, whereas its height, so the blue line, is 28. And we are being asked to find its area. To find the area, we need to multiply these two numbers with each other and then divide them by half. So base times height divided by 2. So that would be 124, come on, 124 times 28 divided by 2. Now let's think here. 124 times 28 will give me, you know what, I'm just going to pause and actually solve that right here. Okay, so that gives me 3,472. Then we need to divide that by 2. So if I divide that by 2, let's see, what are we going to get? Once into 3, and then 7 into 14, and then 3 into 7, and then 4 into 12. Sorry, 6 into 12. So 1,736 is the area here. So there we go. In case you need to check the answers here, just pause the video. I'm moving on. Okay, so here you can see what we talked about in the videos as well, about how to find the area of shapes and all that. In Greek also, terminology in Greek as well. So let's start solving here. So here in the first problem, we have a piece of land being sold. So it's in the shape of a triangle, and it has a base of 24 meters and a height of 25 meters. And it was sold 15 euros for every square meter. So we're being asked how many euros did it cost. So we first need to find the area and then multiply whatever the area is by 15. So the area, in order to find it, since it's a triangle, we need to do the base, which is 24, times the height, which is 25, and then divide that by 2. So 24 times 25 divided by 2. And that's going to give me the area. Again, one moment so I can solve it. So 24 times 25 makes 600. Divided by 2 makes 300. And next, for the price, we need to do 300 times 15 because since the entire field is 300 meters, 300 square meters, and each square meter is 15 euros, then the final price is going to be 300 times 15. And 300 times 15 is going to give us 4,500 euros. That's the final price. Again, we have another piece of land that has a triangular shape. One side is 24, and its height is 15 meters. And now we're being told the final price. We're being told how much was paid for that piece of land. We are being asked how much each square meter costs. So basically, we need to find the area and divide the total cost by the area. So the area is going to be given to us if we multiply 24 by 15 and then divide by 2. So 24 times 15 is going to be 360, and divide this by 2, you get 180. So the land overall cost, sorry, 180 euros. Sorry, it had a total of 180 square meters, right? That was the total area. Okay, well, knowing this now, we can figure out how many euros were paid for each square meter by dividing the final price, which is 40,500, by 180. And if I do this division, what will we get? Let's see. 40,500 divided by 180. What we are going to get is 225. So my final answer should be that each square meter cost 225 euros. Next up, we have this shape right here. And we want to find the area, the gray area, basically. So what we need to take into account is that basically it's saying that this is a specific area and there's a building here, right? So we need to, if we want to find the gray area, we need to subtract the area of the building. So this white area. So how are we going to do that? We're going to find the area. We're going to pretend that this is a whole triangle so that this does not exist. So that this white rectangle here does not exist. We're going to pretend that it's part of the triangle. By doing that, we can find the area of the entire triangle. And then we can find the area of the white part and subtract it from the total area of the rectangle, because what does this look like? It looks like you took a pair of scissors and you just cut into this triangle right here. So if you cut something out, that's subtraction. So in this case, the base is 48 and the height is 18, meaning that to find the area of the whole triangle, we need to do 48 times 18 divided by 2. So let's see, 48 times 18 is going to give us 864, and we need to divide that by 2. So this is going to give us 432. It's the area of the entire triangle if this little box was part of it. Then what we need to do is we need to find the area of the white triangle by doing 12 times 6. And that is going to give us 72. And then we need to subtract it from what we found before. So we need to do 432 minus 72. And that's going to give us 360. Yep. So the entire area of the square. The gray area is, if you just saw gray and you're wondering why E, and this may not have seemed odd to you, or it may have seemed odd to you. Basically, depends on if you're writing American or British English. So both are correct. Both E and A here are correct. Gray area is 360 square. 360 square meters. Okay. So let's move on. And if you need to check your answers, just go back a little bit and pause the video. Wait, no. Next up, we will be solving the worksheet with the parallelograms. So, let's get right into it. In the first problem, we are being told to find the area of a parallelogram with a base of 12 and a height of 25. So we just need to multiply those two numbers. So we need to do 12 times 25. And this multiplication is going to give us 300, I believe. Yeah, and that's the first one right there. So my answer should be 300 square meters. We'll make this a little smaller. Next up, we have a parallelogram, and we are being told that its area is 1,620 square centimeters, and its height is 36 centimeters. And we're being asked what length the base is. So we know the height. We know that the height is 36 centimeters, and then if we multiply that by the base, we get 1,620. Then we want to find the base. What does this look like? This looks like an equation where b is the unknown. And yes, x doesn't have to be the only unknown. We discussed this when we begun talking about equations, that x was just one letter that we choose. It doesn't have to be the letter that is the unknown. So here we have that 36 times b is equal to 1,620. To find b, I need to divide both sides by 36. So what I'm going to get is that B is equal to 1,620 divided by 36. And you can do that vertically. And what you would get is 45. So B is equal to 45 centimeters. Next up, we have the sides of a parallelogram that are 60 and 45. And we're being told that the height that is correct for the longest side is 36 centimeters. First, we're being asked what the area of the parallelogram is. So let's find that immediately. To find the area, I'm going to have to do 36. Come on, come on, come on. 36 times 60. And that is going to give us, if we do it vertically, 2,160. So that's the area, so square meters. That's the area, centimeters, sorry, my mistake, because these are all in centimeters. So that's the area, right? This is question A. Question B, we need to find the height of the small side. To do that, what you need to realize is that if I were to multiply this height with the small side, so 45 centimeters, I would still get the same area. The area of the parallelogram does not change. So I'm going to say that 45 times this height 2, let's call it. So let's just call it h. I don't want to confuse you with the numbers. So 45 times the height is going to give us the same area because the area does not change regardless of if I choose to multiply the small side with its height, or so like that would be this line right here. There would be like a line, if this was an example, right? Then the height of the small base would be something like that. That would be the height of the small side. So if I decide to multiply that with this base instead of this height with the long base, I would still get the same area because the size of the parallelogram does not change. So here again, I have an equation where my unknown is h in this case. And how do I solve this equation? I divide both sides by 45. So we get that h is equal to 2,160 divided by 45, which gives us 48. So the height in this case would be 48 centimeters. And there you go, that's how I solved that one. Next up, we have a piece of land that is that has the shape of a rectangle, and we need to find its area given that one side is 48 and the other side is 16. To do so, we just need to multiply one side with the other. So we are going to do 48 times 16, which makes 768. And this is in square meters because all these on both sides are in meters. Next, we're being told that the owner of the land sold it for 192,000 euros, and it asks us how much did each square meter cost. Well, since there were 768 square meters in total, I need to divide the total price by the total area. So I need to do 192,000 divided by 768. You can do this vertically, and it should give you 250. So each square meter should have cost 250 euros. And there's that entire exercise. If you want to check it, pause the video. Next up, we have the trapezoids. Here we have a trapezoid that has a small side of 7 and a long side of 11 and a height of 8. To find its area, I'm going to need to add the two sides. So here you can see the formula that we had written. So I'm going to need to do, in a second, 11 plus 7 times the height, so 8, divided by 2. The division symbol can be either written like this, which is the fraction line, so you can see that here where everything needs to be divided by 2, or you can write it like this, which is the classic division symbol. You see it written like this here as well. Right? 11 plus 7 makes 18, and we need to multiply that by 8 and then divide by 2. So let's do 18 times 8. This gives me 144, and I need to divide that by 2. And this gives us 72. So the area of this, let's write it, the area of the trapezoid is 72 square centimeters. The area of the trapezoid is 72 square centimeters. Now we have another trapezoid, and again, it's a piece of land being sold, and we know the price of each square meter, and we need to find the total price of the land. So to do this, we need to find the area and then multiply that by the price of each square meter. So we're going to need to do 12 plus 18. Let's start writing. 12 plus 18 multiplied by the height, so 14, and then divided by 2. So 12 plus 18 is going to make 30. And we need to multiply that by 14 and divide by 2. Let's make some space. 30 times 14 is going to give us how much? 420, and we need to divide this by 2. So that's going to make 210. So we have a total area of 210 square meters, right? And each square meter is worth 280 euros. So to find the total price, I need to do 280 times 210. And this gives us a total of 58,800 euros. So come on. The total price of the land is 58,800 euros. And there you go. That's the end of this worksheet. Well, one side of it. So if you need to check your answers, just pause the video. Let's move on to the last one. And this is the last part of this worksheet. So let's get going here. We have a trapezoid with a small side of 22, big side of 26, a height of 18, and it was sold for this much. And we want to find out how much each square meter costs. So we need to find the area and divide the total price by the area. So let's do that. The area is going to be 22 plus 26 multiplied by the height, so 18 divided by 2. So that's going to be 48 times 18 divided by 2. Now, let's see how much this gives us. 48 times 18 will give us 864, and we need to divide this by 2. This is equal to 432. So to find the price per square meter, I'm going to need to divide the final price by the total area. So 108,000 divided by 432. And this will give us how much if we do it vertically. What we are going to find is 250. So my answer here should be each square meter cost 250 euros. Next up, we have another trapezoid-shaped piece of land, and its small side is 15. Its long side is twice as long as its short side is 15, and the long side is twice as long as the short side, and the height is 5 meters. 5 meters greater than the small side. Okay, so let's figure this out. Let's give them some names. We'll call the small one B1. B1 is equal to 15 meters. B2, so the long one, is twice as much, which makes it 30 meters. The height is 5 more than B1, so it's going to be 15 plus 5, 20 meters. Now that we know each of the lengths that we care about, we can figure out the area and then how much it was sold for if each square meter went for 180 euros. So we're going to need to do 15 plus 30 times 20 divided by 2. And this makes 45 times 20 divided by 2. And this makes 900 divided by 2, which is equal to 450. So the total area is 450 square meters. To find the final price, I need to multiply 450 by the price of each square meter. So 180, 450 times 180. And this is going to give me 81,000. So my final answer should be the land was sold for 81,000 euros. Okay, so let's see what we have here. We have a trapezoid, right? And right below the trapezoid is a rectangle. And we're given the lengths of everything that we care about. So the length of the short side of the rectangle, its long side, we know the long side of the trapezoid, the short side of the trapezoid, and the height of the trapezoid being 6 meters. So what do we want to find? We want to find the area of these two combined. So we're going to find the area of the trapezoid, then we're going to find the area of the rectangle, and then just add them. And that's all there is to that. Let's start with the easy one. We'll start with the rectangle. Rectangle is just going to be 2 times 12, so 24. And the trapezoid is going to be 12 plus 8 multiplied by 6 and divided by 2. And this is equal to 20 times 6 divided by 2. Let's make some room. 20 times 6 is going to give us 120 divided by 2 is equal to 60. And now we just need to add them. So 24 plus 60. So let's go over here. Our final answer should be here. I actually didn't do the addition. Come on. This is equal to 84. So my final answer should be the area is 84 square meters. There we go. Let's look at this final one. Okay, what is going on here? We have a trapezoid, and inside it is a triangle. From this triangle, we know this side, and we know its height being 10 meters, because this is going to be the same as this distance, so 10. And for the trapezoid, we know the distance between the parallel lines, so the height, and the two bases. So what does it want us to find? Okay, so we have peppers in the colored part, while in the rest we have tomatoes. So we want to find, firstly, the area of the entire field. So that would be the area of the trapezoid. And then we want to find the area covered with tomatoes. It's an odd way to plant tomatoes, but okay. So first we're going to need to find the area of the trapezoid. That would be 12 plus 18 multiplied by 10 divided by 2. And this is equal to what? 12 plus 18 makes 30 multiplied by 10 divided by 2. 30 times 10 makes 300. And we need to divide this by 2. And this is equal to 150. Come on. There we go. Next up, to find the area that only has tomatoes, we need to subtract the area that has the peppers. So first we need to find the area that has the peppers. We're going to do that by finding the area of the great triangle. So what we need to do is 12 times 10 divided by 2. 12 times 10 gives me 120. Divided by 2 makes 60. And then finally we need to do 150 minus 60, which gives us a total of 90. So our final answer should be, there are tomatoes in 90 square meters. The answer for A was right here. The first line, basically, the answer for A. So there's the answer for A, and here, from here on out, is the answer for B. So there you go. That's all the exercises. If you need to take another look, just pause the video. That'll be all for today. I will see you guys again in the next video. Bye.